Hello, everybody. Welcome to Jumping in an Elevator, the podcast where I, Mike, from the most illustrious YouTube channel in existence, look into the things that you want to know more about, but you can't be bothered researching them yourself. And today's a doozy, right? It really do be a doozy, but I'll get to that in a second. First of all, I'm going to go through my list of updates that I have just written. And the first one, this is verbatim what I wrote down before I started. I was like, tell them I was in a bad mood. So this is me telling you that I was in a bad mood. I know this episode is 2 days delayed, 48 hours if you will. And obviously that's not ideal, but I was in a really bad mood. And whereas in the past for my YouTube channel, I pretty much, actually no, that's still a thing on my YouTube channel. I'm very strict on when I upload on Sundays. Like I would never miss a week. I don't think I've missed a week. Maybe I missed a week when I went to Japan. But other than that, it's been almost 2 years that I haven't missed an upload, I think. Or at least one video a week. And I'm very strict on that because if I don't have my routines, that shit's going out the window with the flies when the window goes down. But I decided for the podcast, if I'm not in a good mood, I'm just not going to do it because you can tell if someone's in a shit mood in long form media. I feel like you can't really tell when I'm in a bad mood on a YouTube video because I just edit it. So I'm not in a bad mood. It just looks like I'm just maybe a little bit more sassy than usual. But on a podcast, because it's pretty much no editing, then if you see me with a scowl or you hear me with a slight inflection, be like, somebody woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Somebody come get her. She woke up on the wrong side of the bed. And then also, I missed last night because I was having some YouTube algorithm drama, which I think I'll discuss more in a second. I wasn't going to talk about this, but you know what? Let's just bloody do it, right? Different channel. I can do it. I'm allowed, unless they're listening. And then also there was a new PlayStation game that was added to the PlayStation Plus thing. So PlayStation Plus, for those who are unaware, you pay for access to the internet for online games. And then when you pay for that thing, you get access to 2 free games per month or something. And this month's ones are some Call of Duty shit, which I'm not a Call of Duty bitch. That's not for me. That's not for me. Something's in that and I don't like it. I got in there and I realized this was some serious stuff and I wasn't prepared. And the other one was called Fall Guys. It's pretty much like a game show like Wipeout and it's so fun. I was just playing that all night, which was fun. And I'll most likely be playing it again tonight, but I will still get this podcast episode up. The YouTube algorithm drama, you know what, let's just open with that. But I'll tell you what this podcast is about. I'm doing a flick through of a very special fact book. And also I want to talk about Schrodinger's cat. This deep dive into Schrodinger's cat is a very base level deep dive. It's pretty much not even deep. It's just a dive. It's not even a dive. It's a collapse from the diving board into the water. Have I told you all the story? My origin story, right? If I ever become famous, my origin story is that I dived into the swimming pool at the Year 9 Swimming Carnival in 2009 with my mouth open. Yeah, let's discuss that for a second. I dived into the pool with my mouth open because I had severe, extreme pool anxiety. I'm not the person to be near a pool. If you bring a pool, I ain't there. If you bring me a pool, I'm running away, yeah? I just can't do it. I have some deep-rooted trauma with pools. I don't like swimming. I don't like swimming carnivals. I don't like swimming races. Just don't put me in a stressful situation in the water. Thank you. My high school was one of those sporty kind of high schools where everyone had to do every single sporting event. And, for example, we had the biathlon, which was running along the beach and then swimming in shark-infested waters, which was totally fine. They actually got rid of it. I think it was in 2010 because there was too many shark warnings. They were like, too many chances that a child might die, so let's just not do that, which was a great moment for me because I never had to do that shit again. Ugh. Cross country was fine because the sheer stress of coming last prevented me from coming last. So I would usually end up in the middle somewhere. And I could run. Like I played tennis quite a bit. So the stamina was there. I just looked really unfit because I had red cheeks. Still do. My cheeks are so red right now. But I don't want to talk about it because everyone's like, you have rosacea. And I'm like, I don't want a diagnosis. If I want a diagnosis, I'll go on WebMD. Sorry for all the British accents in today's episode already. But I think I'm getting really good at it, just on a side note. So this swimming carnival, I dived in. It was like Division fucking F, right? F for flop. Division flop swimming carnival freestyle. And I dived in with my mouth open because I was just freaking out. The whole school was there just yelling. So I jump in, mouthful of water, I start like, and then everyone's racing and I'm just dying. And I had to swim to the side of the pool to get out. And the teacher, who had 4 fingers on one of his hands, because one of the fingers came off in the woodworking shop because he ground it off. Was it an angle grinder? No, it was like one of those circular saw ones where you like put the wood into it and it cut his finger off. I didn't see the finger come off, but he helped me out of the pool. And I'm pretty sure he had 4 fingers at that point. I can't remember if he had 4 fingers in 2009 or 2010 or 11. I think it was 2009. Let's just go with that. So then he helped me out of the pool. And it was just very embarrassing. The whole school saw it. The entirety of my all-boys school saw it. It was very good for my reputation. Stream Reputation by Taylor Swift. What a good album, honestly. So many hits. I keep coming back to it. I enjoyed folklore. I enjoyed folk. Yolk or yoke? Folklore. I enjoyed folklore. But Reputation's my number 1 Taylor Swift album. It was 1989, and then I had an epiphany, but that's another story. And Reputation is my number 1 album, except for the Ed Sheeran song, for obvious reasons. Do I need to go into that again? No. So yeah, I basically hate pools. Why was I talking about pools? I can't remember. Dive in? Yeah, okay. I was saying that diving into this podcast, fell into the pool. Great, fantastic. This Schrodinger's cat discussion is going to be very base level in terms of I know about it, but I haven't done a whole lot of research. For example, that space episode, not so much space episode, the communications episode of this podcast that I did so much research for that. And people enjoyed it, but it didn't get as much of a reception as some of the other episodes. So I took that as a hint that maybe it was too technical. Like maybe it's not that interesting to listen to. Maybe it's more interesting to do the research yourself. I don't know. Let me know if you think that episode was a bit too much. So in this one, we're going to be going from the start. So instead of me just presenting information, we're going to try and work it out as we go. Schrodinger's thought. So what is that? Do you want to start with that? No, we'll do that at the end. Okay, also, I just really want to say this before I forget. I really wanted to call, because basically, wow, my thoughts are all over the place today. Sorry in advance. And sorry for the past, it's already happened, so not just all advance. And sorry for the current situation. Just many sorries all around. Multitude of sorries. A sorry-tude, perhaps. The problem is, Schrodinger's cat, we don't know if she's dead or alive, which reminded me of a Nicki Minaj lyric, and I really wanted to call this podcast episode, This Pussy Top 5 Dead or Alive. I'm just saying that with a straight face. God. Sorry, Mum. Thanks, Mum, for the money. Afternoon snack. Thanks, Mum, for the money. Because my mum listens to this podcast. I know she's like, what? Hearing me say that. But that's one of my favourite Nicki lyrics. It's so outrageous. This pussy top 5, dead or alive. Excuse me? He said this pussy top 5, dead or alive. Dead? Someone's got some explaining to do. But in that sentence, it's Schrodinger's PU $$Y. Is it dead or alive? We don't know until it gets measured. Wow, I feel like there's many euphemisms that could be presented in that discussion. I just hope that my mum's not listening to this podcast while driving around in her car with her workmates, which is a possibility. Hello to my mum's workmates. The YouTube algorithm drama. So, basically, I was going to do a video about this. I still don't know if I'm going to. We'll see how it turns out. This is impartial. I'm not being shady to anyone in particular. The person from YouTube that I spoke to on the phone, it's not really speaking on the phone. Well, I mean, it was literally on my phone because it was in this YouTube Studio app. You can do like live chat. And I think I got responded to so quickly, and I think it must be because of my channel size. And I was like, wow, it pays to do well, doesn't it? Also, that squeak was not a fart. Let's just get that out of the way. I'm wearing my Nike React somethings, and there's a bit of plastic on the bottom, and ready? They do be squeaking, but I really want to have my leg up on the chair because it's a little bit more comfortable for the presenter, and the presenter is me. Thus, therefore, QED, it makes me more comfortable. My phone fell off the bench before, and it smashed on the ground, And you're like, oh, he smashed his phone? No, the case broke in half because I have this special phone case, right? Okay, people that are listening, you're just going to have to deal with this one. The phone case has two pieces. So it has like a top piece and a bottom piece, and they're magnetically joined around the phone. So if the phone falls down, the case breaks in half. So all that kinetic energy from the smash, is it kinetic energy? Kinetic and potential energy, all that energy gets distributed into the case falling apart instead of the phone falling apart, which kind of is genius, if you ask me. And I do love this phone case because it's aluminium and glass, which are my two favorite materials, as you would know if you watched my video about rich people houses. I'm getting redder by the second. Also, I'm looking at my hair. It's freshly washed and toned with the blonde shampoo, whatever the fuck, the purple shampoo. And it's kind of the same color as the green screen. So I just already know that's going to be a delight to try and work out how to color that. Problem for me later, which is not a problem for me now, thus we don't care. Many things can happen in an hour when I edit this. This shit's like an oiled machine. Speaking of oil, I put a new face oil on my face because I felt quite dry because I've been having hot showers, which dries out the skin. But actually I've been trying to not wash my face in the shower because the water's too hot for your face. But I was doing that, so then I'm dealing with working through that and then washing my face with cold water now. Not that anyone actually fucking cares. Right? Do you care about my skincare? It does look kind of good right now, except I have one pimple in the middle of my, what's this called? Mustache skin? What the fuck? Upper lip, bitch. Mustache skin. Oh my god. Can it be Friday already? Mustache skin. I just want to run and jump out the window. Hello, this is me from 10 minutes past the point that you're watching now. However, I'm jumping in to let you know that I was just talking about the YouTube algorithm and I've decided to cut that entirely out because it feels very much like YouTube Mafia. But if this situation escalates, there'll be a video about it. If not, we do not need to worry about it. Hence, I don't think I need to discuss it right now. I don't think that'd be a smart move. So what's the deal with this fact book, I hear you asking? I was that child to read fact books on the way to school. This was my favorite fact book from 2006, 2007. So year 6, year 7. And we used to drive, what the hell was that noise? Did you hear that? It sounded like a fucking lemur or some shit. Not that I know what a lemur would sound like, but that's what I anticipate a lemur would sound like a wow, like a not a cat situation, but then also not. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. There are no fucking lemurs in this neighborhood. God, I just need to sort my shit out. 2006, 2007, I read fact books on the way to uni, and the drive was an hour each way. So there was a lot of facts that went into this old brain of mine, and I read this book back to front multiple times, and it's called The Most Amazing Book of Useless Information of Them All. You know what's useless? A calendar in 2020. Ha ha ha, am I right or am I right? Actually, that's a good title. Things more useless than a calendar in 2020. Kind of popped off on that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through this fact book and just look at some random facts and discuss them. And then we're going to talk about Schrodinger's top 5 dead or alive. Let's start with some useless facts about the universe. An area of the sun's surface the size of a postage stamp shines with the power of 1,005. That's not that number. I was going to say 1,500,000 candles. Bitch, that's a million? God, 1.5 million candles. Imagine if we could properly harness the power of the sun. There's a name for that. A sun something. It was in that new Kurzgesagt video. They were talking about levels of civilizations. Once you get to X level, that means you've harnessed the power of your sun for pretty much unlimited energy. Like, suns be burning, right? There's so much energy there. Oof. Solar is the way. La la la. If our whole galaxy were the size of a 10 pence piece, what is a pence? A Mike Pence? Lol. Well, the size of a 10 pence piece, our solar system would be smaller than the size of a molecule. I didn't really process that at all, but we're just going to move on. Other galaxies would be from 1 foot to 1,000 feet away. Again, I don't speak in American, so I don't know what those numbers are. Gold exists on Mars, Mercury, and Venus. Well, that explains why everyone wants to go to Mars, doesn't it? They want that Mars gold because they're going to come back and sell it at the market and be like, hey, I got this from Mars. It's a little bit more expensive than the Earth gold. Imagine that. If someone tried to sell you Mars gold, I'd be like, literally piss off. I don't want to buy your Mars gold. I'll just go there myself. Just kidding. I never want to go to space. As I've said before, I'd like to send people to space, and my offer to Elon Musk, etc., et al., NASA, and whoever is concerned in that area, the offer's there. I'm willing to offer my services. I am qualified. Moving right along. At midday on Mercury, the sunlight is hot enough to melt lead. Mercury, she's the first planet, which explains that. Midday on Mercury, the sunlight is hot enough to melt lead. Why lead? Like, that is very much a random fact. Like, that is a useless fact. This book simply did not lie when they said that these facts were useless. Small satellites within a planet's rings are sometimes called mooms. MOOMS. I don't like that one. I really didn't like that fact. Something about vowels together just doesn't sit right. Keep your distance. In the 16th and 17th centuries, some people thought comets were the eggs of planetary systems. 16th and 17th century. Oh my god, that sounds like the worst time to be alive, honestly. I feel like some plague happening, maybe some giant rats. People just be shitting and throwing it out the window. Ugh, honestly, my nightmare. And people didn't know how to swim. Imagine, oh my god, and all the like boat trips you'd have to take if you wanted to get anywhere. Trust me, I'd want to go places. I love to travel, especially right now when I can't. But 16th century, 17th century, it'd be boats everywhere, and I don't like the ocean, as we've established. But then there would have also been no swimming carnivals. 16th century, 17th century is not even that long ago. That's like 300 years, 400 years. And think how far we've come. Let's see how far we've come. Who even sings that? Rob Thomas? That doesn't sound right. Rob Thomas is one of those people, he could be 50, he could be 25, and I would believe it either way. I'm nearly 25, which is disgraceful and should never be spoken about. That fact has too many numbers. Here we go. The distance around the Earth's equator is 24,920 miles. It would take 33 million people holding hands to reach across that distance. 33 million people holding hands to reach across that distance. So we just get 33 million people to line up and hold hands, and then we've got a line around the Earth. That seems kind of easy. That seems like easy mode. What's hard mode? Get everyone to lay down like an ultimate person train track. Just 20 seconds worth of fuel remained when Apollo 11's lunar module landed on the moon. That is so clutch. Oofda. That's stressful. Yeah, I'm going to say it. That's stressful. I'm stressed for Apollo 11, even though that has been many years since that happened. 5 times as many meteors can be seen after midnight as can... Spelling error. 5 times as many meteors can be seen after midnight as can seen before. Well, Mr. Noel Botham, I found an error in your book. Does that mean I get a prize? I didn't really pay attention to that, though. 5 times as many can be seen after midnight. Now, why would that be the case? I can't think of anything. Is it something to do with, like, the atmosphere? Because if it's sunset and you're rotating, bitch, I don't know. Something about that shit just don't sit right. Days and years and all that. Bro, who decided? Oh, don't even get me started on the calendar. Ugh. The concept of a day annoys me because it's like the planet's just spinning. And before we had an understanding of the spinning, we still kind of called it a day, right? But then everyone's like, oh, I wonder what this means. It's dark now, let's just all throw our shit out the window collectively. I'm just talking absolute shit this episode. It's just very on brand for me at the moment. Doing a lot of talking and not a lot of critical thinking. Some small brain moments. just suffering from IMDb. Hope you can deal with that. I don't want to listen to sayings of Oscar Wilde. I had such a good burrito for dinner, by the way. Oh, it was called the Triple T. I'm friends with the people at the burrito place now. Actually, I was going to say they're my only friends in this neighborhood, but they're not even in this neighborhood. They're in the suburb. So burrito people, if you're listening, you're my only friends in the suburb, apart from my family, of course, and my dog. Useless facts about geography. The first city in the world to have a population of over 1 million was London. London kind of outsold, let's be real, right? When I was looking at aerospace jobs, a lot of them are in London. A lot of them are in Germany, and then most of them are in the US, which we don't talk about because they won't let me in because I'm not an American citizen and thus cannot work on government stuff, which is what NASA is classified as. I'm big mad about that. New York was once New Amsterdam. That would kind of be a cultural reset if that was true. The Dead Sea is in fact an inland lake. Is the Dead Sea the one where people just like get shit and rub it on their face? And like on their body and stuff, and it's supposed to do wonders? Maybe I should use that for my crusty eyebrows. Because you know I have like, what's the word? Dehydrated eyebrows. Maybe I should get some Dead Sea mud and just rub it on my eyebrows. No one needs to know. Nobody needs to know. The average Miss America winner is 5 foot 6.6 inches. That's pretty tall. How tall am I? I'm like 100 and... Oh, am I 180 or am I 178? Somewhere in there. I think I'm 5'11", which is not 6 foot. And everyone's like, you have to be 6 foot to be successful in life. So it looks like I'm not being successful in life. The tallest Miss America contestant was 6 foot 2 inches. The perfect height for a female fashion model is 5 foot 9.5 inches. And the perfect height for a male model is 6 feet 0 inches. Again, there we go, perfect height. 6 feet 0 inches. If I have the right heel on, I'm 6 feet. If I have these Nike Air 270s, limited edition of course, from the corporate store. They weren't limited because they were at the corporate store. I bought them because they were at the corporate store, and they just happened to be limited. The tallest US president was Abraham Lincoln. Again, not that fast. The largest web-footed bird is the albatross. Honestly, birds, not for me. Something in that, not for me. The tallest mammal is the giraffe. Tell me something I don't know. Fact book, honestly. Japan ranks number 3 in the world for coffee consumption. Okay. My thing with facts, right? That's great. But I want to know who's number 1 and I want to I want to know who's number 2. That's great that Japan's number 3 though. Oh, they have those coffee, like the hot coffees from the vending machine. That blew my mind when I saw it. Like you just go up to him, press this button and you get a hot coffee. I was living and I was livid. Because I had to leave, right? I timed that holiday so well. Came back, and then a month later, Rona lockdown. So I went on an international trip not long before. And now I obviously can't go on one for ages. And my one before that was like 5 years before that. So I really won in that regard. Large doses of coffee can be lethal. 10 grams or 100 cups over 4 hours can kill the average human. Oh. Eve, if you're listening, you better take note of that one. Latte is the Italian word for milk. So if you order a latte in Italy, you'll be served a glass of milk. Raw coffee beans soaked in water and spices are chewed like sweets in many parts of Africa. Well, that reminds me of how we used to have these snacks at the office. I'm saying used to, like it's past tense. We still have an office. Not that I'll be going into it anytime soon. Not that there'll ever be shared snacks again soon. Oh, that's a casualty of the Rona that I didn't think about. The snacks. The shared communal snacks. That's a thing of the past. Unfortunate. They used to have chocolate-covered coffee beans, and I would eat them. And this was before I was a coffee drinker. That came along with the Corona depression. And I would chew these coffee beans, just a handful of them, because I thought that coffee beans weren't activated if they weren't cooked or some shit. I don't know. I'm an idiot. And then I'd have like a massive anxiety attack in the stairwell and I'd be like, oh, maybe it was the chocolate covered coffee beans. Maybe. Dumb bitch. Regular coffee drinkers have about 1/3 less asthma symptoms than non-coffee drinkers. That seems like correlation does not imply causation. Britons eat over 22,000 tons of chips a week. Fish and chips. Let's go down to the pub, yeah, and have fish and chips. I've had 21 tons. I've got one more left for the week. Chewing on gum while cutting onions can help prevent a person from producing tears. Good thing I never cry ever. I can't remember the last time I cried. Maybe it was during... No, it was during the Freddie Mercury movie. The Queen movie. That was great. I'm having a really hard time reading. Just putting that out there. Dandelion root can be roasted and ground as a coffee substitute. Yeah, I don't know about that one. A cluster of bananas is called a hand and consists of 10 to 20 bananas, which are known as fingers. Ugh, gross. Oh, the word banan is Arabic for finger. Banan. I have 5 bananas on this hand. My high school woodworking teacher had 4 bananas. In an authentic Chinese meal, the last course is soup because it allows the roast duck entree to swim towards digestion. I kind of love that because my nonno used to say that you can't have water after seafood because then it swims in your stomach and makes you sick, which is why I still don't have water after seafood. It also gives me an excuse to have like a fizzy drink afternoon snack. Cheers, mum, for the money. Carrots were first grown as a medicine, not a food. Medicine. Let me just quickly say I love the flavour of medicinal cherry flavour. Arguably the best flavour. I know for a fact that it's the best flavour. Gives me kind of Dr. Pepper vibes. Here's my bookmark from 2007. This is actually kind of cute. It says, shh, I'm reading on it. I wrote a warning sign. Wow, I was that child. And then my most recent review was from the 11th of September, 2007. And it was Jock and Aramis. Is that one about talking rodents? Probably. Anyway, I gave it 3 stars, so it kind of flopped. Oh, this is good though. On the back of the bookmark, I've drawn a picture of a scroll and a picture of a book on the scroll, and it says, wanted, a good book, exclamation, exclamation. There you go, people watching, you get a little sneak peek at that one, and the camera's not deciding to focus, and yet I am focused. So I'm going to stay in focus. And then let's just pick one random one. One random fact before we're talking about Schrodinger's PU, $$, Useless sayings and omens. It is bad luck to wear opals unless you were born in October. I wasn't born in October, and I also don't have any opals, so that one works for me. Actually, I'm just going to keep reading this page. This is great. All windows should be opened the moment someone dies so their soul can leave. All windows? All of the windows ever. Interesting. It is very bad luck to wear something new to a funeral, especially new shoes. But then what if you don't have any shoes to wear? Or you don't have appropriate shoes? I'm not going to wear my Nike Air 270 Reacts to the funeral. I need to get some shoes, right? And my nice shoes are in Melbourne, so I'd have to buy new shoes. I don't want that to be bad luck. It's not my fault. The person who gives the 3rd wedding gift to be opened by a bride will soon have a baby. Very interesting. Seeing a black cat or a chimney sweep on the way to a wedding is very lucky. Oh yes, because I'm going to see a chimney sweep on the way to a wedding. My God. Are there still chimney sweeps? Who's cheaping the swimney? Honestly. All the numbers from 12 to 242 added together equals 70 squared. Fucking fantastic. An octillion is the lowest positive number to contain a letter C. Nah. Octillion... What the fuck? Hang on. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 20, 40. Oh my God. Wait, they kind of spilled there. An octillion is the lowest positive number to contain a letter C. Jesus Christ. 29 is the only number that is written with as many strokes as its numerical value. And they gave an exclamation mark on that one. You need to write y with 3 strokes. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Well, you wouldn't write a lowercase y with... I have a problem with this Noel Botham character. That's not a real fact. So, let's talk about Schrodinger's thought. I literally Googled Schrodinger's cat hard version. I just type anything into Google. Just type anything into Google, honestly. She'll work it out. It took me to the Wikipedia page, so obviously my query didn't work. Schrodinger's cat is a thought experiment, sometimes described as a paradox, devised by Austrian physicist Erwin Schrodinger in 1935 during the course of discussions with Albert Einstein. Oh, he really had to name drop, didn't he? It illustrates what he saw as a problem of the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum mechanics, which we'll have a look at. Situation presents a hypothetical cat that may be simultaneously both dead or alive. Is it the pussy top 5? Dead or alive? I'll stop that. A state known as quantum superposition, as a result of being linked to a random subatomic event that may or may not occur. Okay, so before we talk about quantum mechanics, there was a YouTube video, I think it's by Wired. It must be by Wired. On their YouTube channel, they do like explain like I'm 5 or levels of explanation. And this lady explained quantum mechanics to a 5-year-old, then like a 12-year-old or something, and then high school, uni, postgrad, and then a doctor in the field. So interesting. Very interesting. I guess you could kind of look at quantum mechanics as another interpretation of our physical systems, even though it's not really physical. Is it? I don't know. But just watch that video. It's really good. Even if you have no knowledge of quantum mechanics, you learn something. And if you know a lot about quantum mechanics, you'll probably still learn something. I'll put a link to it in the description. And if you're listening, just type in Wired quantum mechanics explanation into the old tube. So, Schrodinger's thought. What's the deal with that? What's a Copenhagen interpretation? It's an expression of the meaning of quantum mechanics that was largely devised in the 1920s by Niels Bohr and Werner Heisenberg. Oh, I know they did some shit. They got them science names, right? You know, when you just read a name and you're like, that's a science, bitch. Like Mozart, that doesn't really have a science kind of vibe. But Niels Bohr, that's such a science name. And Werner Heisenberg, like if someone looked at a symphony, it's like, this is the Werner Heisenberg, I'd be like, no, it's not. That's a science name. But then Beethoven, Beethoven's rule, what could that possibly be, right? I think I thought I was really doing something with that sentence, but then it really didn't happen. But it was done, so I guess something was did. And that's that on that. It is one of the oldest and numerous proposed interpretations of quantum mechanics. According to the Copenhagen interpretation, physical systems generally do not have definite properties prior to being measured, which is a big thing to get your head around. Quantum mechanics can only predict the probability distribution of given measurements' possible results. The act of measurement affects the system, causing the set of probabilities to reduce to only one of the possible values immediately after the measurement. And that's a wave function collapse. So you don't know what something is until it's measured, or you don't know what state it's in until it's measured. It has a distribution, a probability distribution of, or distribution of probabilities of what it could be. And when you measure it, that affects the system and returns like one possible outcome, which is the one that you observe. That's some crazy shit in it. And then over the years, many objections. I don't want to hear objections. I just want to hear conjecture. Quantum mechanics. Give me a 1-sentence review of quantum mechanics. It's a fundamental theory in physics. Yeah, great. It describes physical properties of nature on an atomic scale. Classical physics describes many aspects of nature at an ordinary scale. Okay, so quantum mechanics is we have to go deeper. What's that quote from? Inception. This nail is painted. This nail is also painted. My left nail is painted with blue and my right nail is painted with a dark grey. We didn't like the dark grey. We, as in me and my sister and the dog, we didn't like this one. So I started scratching it off. I didn't really scratch it. I worked out if I rub it on a magazine cover, it comes off. So I was just rubbing it on the magazine cover. But I didn't really take it off fully and then it dried. So that's why I had this whack looking nail. But then this other one looks really nice. What is the relevance of that? I don't know. Let's look at quantum superposition. Ooh. Quantum states can be added together and the result will be another valid quantum state. Bro, what? And conversely, that every quantum state can be represented as the sum of two or more distinct states. You know what? No. I am going to leave. We're going to go back to Schrodinger's cat and have a look at that some more. Dung, 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 dung. There's many interpretations. There's ensemble interpretation, relational interpretation, transactional interpretation. What is this? This is a Zeno effect. Zeno effects is known to cause delays to any changes from the initial state. Huh? What? Okay, I thought this was just like a thought experiment that had no actual physical experiment done. But it's saying a cat state has been achieved with photons. I'm about to log out. A beryllium ion has been trapped in a superposed state. That's mental. Is that not mental? That's mental. Let me just fact check that. Is that mental? That is mental. An ion has been trapped in a superposed state. So does that mean it was between states? Ugh. An experiment involving... Oh, there goes the R. An experiment. An experiment involving a superconducting quantum interference device called a SQUID. Nah, I'm ready to log out. Why do science people just insist on making everything a quirky acronym? God, I remember when I was doing my thesis, there was like ACEs, Pharaoh. And I was like, shit, that did not need to be an acronym. Or it was an acronym, but they just added in E's and shit to make it sound nice. Really not something worth getting mad about. Here we are. An experiment involving a squid has been linked to the theme of the thought experiment. Superposition state does not correspond to a billion electrons flowing one way and a billion flowing the other way. Superconducting electrons move en masse. En masse. That was a disgraceful attempt at French. I did French for a year. My French teacher was really nice. She was also really disorganized, which was endearing, you know? I did a year of French and I did a year of Chinese. And then I did multiple years of Italian in year 8 to year 10. Got the Italian award 3 years in a row. Same years that I also got the religion award. Because I know how to write an essay. And I also got runner-up ducks 3 years in a row. To 3 different people. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Ugh. And I think that's affected me, that experience. An experiment involving a flu virus has been proposed. Flu virus, Schrodinger style. Huh? I don't have the brain cells for this right now. Basic summary, Google it. Seems to be the basic summary of everything I discuss in this podcast. Schrodinger's cat. The PU $$Y. You don't know if it's dead or alive. Top 5 dead or alive, unless you actually measure it. Is my rent paid? I won't know until I observe my bank account. Or my landlord won't know if my rent is paid until they observe their bank account. Schrodinger's rent. What's another one? Oh, I could have... No, I'll say Mike's subscribe account. Schrodinger's subscribe account. I don't know what it is. Actually, wait. I don't know what it is until I measure it. Sure. Right? Also, YouTube could totally be lying. I could have like 1,000 subscribers and they've just inflated it 350,000 times. That's not how that works. 350 times. And I'm like, yes. And they're like, this has been an experiment from the start. Here are the cameras. The host is Gwyneth Paltrow. She's about to interview you. We've been filming you, your entire experience, for the last 4 years. We lied. It was all a lie. And I'd believe it. I'd be like, okay, hi Gwyneth. Really liked you in Talented Mr. Ripley, which is a great movie, by the way. And I discovered that it's on Netflix, I think. So maybe I'll watch that this weekend. Maybe. I just cracked this knuckle. The one behind the main crackable knuckle. The side knuckle. This one here. And I crack it by doing this. That makes me feel like I'm about to dislocate. Yep, I've run out of cracks. Unfortunately, no more crack, ladies and gentlemen. We've run out. Wait, there's one. Sorry. Ugh, I know people don't like that. You know what? I'm just going to stop. Thank you all for listening to this extremely chaotic episode of the podcast. Sorry about that, but also I'm not sorry about it. Should have expected that by now. If you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like. If you're listening to this on a podcasting platformer or streaming platformer, feel free to leave it a review. Much appreciated. If you have questions and stuff that you want me to look into in future episodes, leave a comment, on the YouTube channel or message me on the gram. But you probably have more luck commenting on the YouTube channel because the gram DMs are getting looked at less and less these days. Cool. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will talk to you next week. Peace out. Bye.